Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the A.N.A podcast. Thank you for clicking on us and checking us out, man. We really appreciate it. My name is Alex Mack. My partner across from me is
Alex Hood. Without the hood today, unfortunately.
Yeah, which well, if you're without the hood, what's your name? Are you still hood? Are you hoodless?
I guess I'm like the unworthy Thor. You know, when he doesn't have Mjolnir. I don't know. Just call me Odinson or Fuller, I guess, whatever my last name is. Yeah. I'll just go, yeah.
Odinson.
It's bad.
Yeah, but hey, so real quick, let's get some let's get some shopkeeping out the way. So if you like what you hear and you haven't heard it before, hey, we are officially on some podcast sites. You know, you can just look us up right on the phone while you're driving, while you're working, taking the shit, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just look us up on Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, and Spotify. We getting big time, bro. We getting out there.
Yeah, man. We just a matter of time before we start signing autographs. I charge $50 for my signature.
Hey, bro, I can't wait to sell out. Shit, like, just give me the first check. I'm gonna be tap dancing. I'm gonna be doing a jig and shit.
Oh, that's all him. I have standards.
Come watch the A.n.A podcast, y'all.
No, there are things I will not do. Not for the bag. There are things I'll do for my friends, but not for the bag, bro.
Oh shit, man. F friends, I'm all for the bag, baby. Give me that bag. But yeah. Anyway, check us out. Give us a listen. You might like what you hear. On that note, what's up, bro? How you been? How's your weekend and stuff?
I'm recovering from a pretty bad stomach virus, so you know that explains why nothing went up last week. It's been a rough week. Also, I got my 90th anniversary for the church on Sunday, and I'm doing a play there, so I'm stressing out because I got to make last minute alterations to the video we shot, you know, for the production. So I'm just a nervous wreck right now.
Oh, you got all them nerves, right? All them butterflies.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this is like the first event or first type of event that you guys have been doing.
Yeah. It's I'm planning on doing it all summer, once a month. And since our church's anniversary is during the month of May, we figured we'd kick it off the fourth Sunday of May. During the actual anniversary, let everybody come out and celebrate. Because, like I said, they've been around for a while. It's been 90 years, so they wanted to do a big, pastor. So I have like blood invested, so I had to do something big for him.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, bro. That's awesome. That's what's up, man. But I don't know if I've ever been to. Well, no. My grandma, when I was like a little kid, it's probably one of the reasons I kind of don't make it to church as often. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't go to church like nearly as much as I should. But when I was a kid, I lived in church, right? And so, would you stop that? Damn. And so, I used to be in church from sun up, like literally from sun up. Like the sun is rising, and we are dressed and on the way to church. The entire Sunday in church. It was like the first service, the second service, the third service, Sunday school, then the meeting, like the committee meetings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the dinner. And then we going home when the sun going down. So and my grandma used to dress me in these little tight, little clip-on ties, and I'd just be sitting the whole day like, oh my God, dude, can I go home? We still in church. I mean, in a lot of ways, I'm thankful for that, but yeah, still, that was kind of torturous. For real. I mean, I'm still here, and this tight ass tie and these stupid ass shoes.
Well, I'm inviting you to the play formally, and I'm doing it on the stream so everybody knows that I invited you. So when I come back on next week and say you didn't show up, everybody will know you didn't show up.
See, you're supposed to be my friend. Was it how you you just gonna throw me out there like that? Oh, you man, you suck, man. So no, hold on. What? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to edit, and I'm like, yeah, man, thank you for inviting me, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll be right there. No, I ain't gonna play with you like that. But no, in all honesty, I appreciate it, man. You might look, you might just see me, like for real. You might just see me in there.
I ain't gonna see this nigga. I ain't gonna see this nigga.
Hey man, hey, you never know. Just a case. But all right, let's keep it pushing, keep it moving. Yeah, I am out of practice like a mug right this with this. Where are we? So we are well this show, so we have our most popular segment is our death battle reviews. So we got that in the tuck for you coming up. And we also have some reviews for Cobra Kai, the first season. And we're getting strange with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, right? And so we can go ahead and kick that off. But I think I hate to bring the show down, but you know when there's certain events that happen in the world, it'll feel weird not talking about it or not going over it or whatever at a certain point. You know, there was yet another tragic mass shooting in Buffalo, and I'm not even gonna say this dude's name because my gripe with all this stuff is they put the names out there, and then like they become people, they become like ideas, they become heroes or villains or whatever. They become more than what they are, which is terrorists, basically. Like these are like homegrown white supremacist terrorists, basically. And he made a beeline for a black neighborhood in Buffalo and in a grocery store in a black neighborhood in Buffalo for the sole purpose of taking out black people, you know. And I mean, it's not to get all political or self-righteous or whatever, but we've been saying it for decades now. Like, we need stiffer gun control laws. We need people to be more responsible, and the Fox Newses and the Breitbarts and the Forum Posts. We need people to start denouncing shit, you know, and calling what this is for what it is. Because in a real way, like all of us are like really unsafe right now. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I think even that day there was like two more shootings or something. Like one was in a church or something like that, I believe. And it's like to protect my own mental health. I don't watch the news every day. You know, I just skim through stuff, you know, especially when I see stuff like this. And it's like I'll get to it later. I'll just like, good God. But yeah, but it's real sad, and it's been sad, but nothing's changing. You know what I'm saying? And it's because the people in power kind of feel like, for some reason, like that delusion is strong over there. Like they feel like they're unaffected, they're above it all. I get that kind of sense, but no, they like, you are in the burning building that you set on fire. Basically, you're in this bitch too. You feel
Yeah, I
me?
think they plan on being, to stay with your analogy, I think they plan on dying before the flames reach their floor. Be what it be. That's
And
really,
that's real, and that's crazy enough for these sick fucking people to think that's the rationale. Like he I think because he was indoctrinated basically by this replacement theory, and that's it's something I've heard. I didn't know there was a name for it, but it's this thing of like the white race is being replaced, you know, and the white race is like diminishing. And you know, in what was it, like in 50 years or in 100 years, like there'll be no white people. Everybody will just look like Blake Griffin or Drake or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And, but it's like to say, what? we didn't make the first off, we didn't make the one drop rule that like we didn't make this rule up. This is your shit. So who's to say they aren't white? Like if you're like a mixed race person, like you're still white. You're not black, quote unquote. You are white and you are black, but it's that bullshit rule back in slavery times. Like, oh, if you got one drop, if your daddy black, if your daddy black, you black. Get in that goddamn field, nigga. You know.
Yeah, I stopped picking a fight with them. And by them, I don't even mean white people. I mean, I stopped picking a fight with the opposition, whoever it is, when I realized that like all people are doing is sitting online. I mean, there are people who are like legitimately fighting the good fight. So I'm not talking about those type. I'm talking about the type that just get online and just yell at each other about it. Like, you need to be informed. Okay, I'm informed. What's the next step? And you realize that for most of them, they don't have a next step. They just want to tell you that somebody got shot. And I go, okay, somebody got shot. And yeah, there was a racist behind it. Okay, there was a racist behind it. What's the next move? Because unless you're rallying to go, are we gonna go find him? Are we gonna go drag him out? Are we gonna do some kind of frontier justice? I'm not advocating that we do. I'm asking the question. That's never the plan. You talk about the people in charge. It's like, are we planning on storming their neighborhoods? That's not the plan. So it's like, whatever. Like you can tell me about the schemes. You can tell me about the people who are meeting behind the waterfall. And you can tell me about the country's on fire and blah blah blah. And I already know that. I knew that 10 years ago. I found that out the hard way when I was a kid when Trayvon happened. So, you know, I know that's not the first time that happened, but that was the first time in my life that like it was really right in my face. And after that, I was just like, all right, cool. You can go ahead and tell me about the next time. It's not, I'm kind of whatever.
I think that's kind of the problem too. Like everybody's over it. Everybody's over it before it even begins. You know what I'm saying? Because the next one, I'm kind of already over it, bro. Like, and it's gonna be like the same shit of just like, what the fuck, and why why do we keep putting our faith in the system that is allowing this to happen? But that's the ultimate thing. Like, what the fuck we gonna do? When we gonna like get an action plan together instead of just like telling people to go vote? Yeah, we voted.
I can answer that question, but I have to answer it in a very controversial way.
Where's my mute button? Yeah, go ahead. All right, my mute button's ready. Go ahead.
Homies will get it when they're willing to show out the same way that people did who stormed the Capitol.
Nobody cares that much unless it's a bunch. Let's see, I'm about to. Oh, don't do that! Don't do that! You about to make me go down a path I don't want to go down. But I mean, honestly, unless there's like a bunch of like retro Jordans like out there or something, niggas ain't gonna care, man. Like,
yeah, but that's kind of my point. It's like we demonize them for doing that, and I was kind of like, I was sitting on the sidelines, and I was like, I don't agree with the crusade. I do agree with the method in the sense that like these are people who believe that they need change. I think they were wrong in what they were trying to change because I think they believed a lie. But I'm saying in the sense that if you want change on that level, you have to take extremes like that. You just have to. Like the country was built on revolution. That's kind of what we do. You know what I mean? Well, that's kind of, I say we, but my point is that it's like,
yeah,
I didn't hear anybody taking a step back and being like, and looking at the what they did in the sense of this is the spirit of when you believe you have found yourself under an oppressive power, you feel like you found yourself under an unfair system. This is what we're supposed to do in response to it. So like if you want to, there's got to be blood in the water. There's just really no way around that.
Yeah, we have, and the thing is, we have revolted back. I mean, think of Nat Turner.
Neighborhoods. That's different.
No, Nat Turner though, like the slave revolt, like back in West Virginia. Like, no, yeah. he put bodies on the floor, like straight. Yeah. And there's been other ones too. Like, not coming to mind because they don't teach us that in school, and we got to go look that shit up. You know what I'm saying? When we're adults and trying to pay bills and shit. But yeah, no, there's most definitely been other revolts like that. But like, and I'm kind of done with this because it's a big circle jerk. You know, it's just going to be the same a perpetuating cycle until I don't know. We either say that's enough and we just go get our shotguns and put cracker killer on the engrave that shit on there. So, but see, that's I'm probably gonna have to cut this whole thing out. But anyway, all right, that's enough of that shit. So all right, so now we're gonna head over into the review segment, and we got Cobra Kai, which is you finally got me to sit down and watch this, and yeah, pleasant surprise. Like I'm not gonna lie, just off the break, just I was surprised. I enjoyed it, but let's go ahead and kick it off. So Cobra Kai season 1 on Netflix, and it's starring Ralph Macchio and William Zabka. And it's basically we're catching up with Daniel-san, like 20, 30 years after the big tournament back in the 80s. And yeah, I liked it. I thought it was all right. What's up?
We're catching up with Johnny, you asshole.
John? Who, the bully? We're catching up with both of them.
Johnny, you asshole.
Man, nobody likes that nigga, man. This is about Daniel-san. Well, no, you know what? No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Well, okay, go ahead. You go first.
Oh, you want me to start off?
Yeah. Go ahead, kick it off. What you think about it?
You know how I feel about this show? If you give it to me, you might not even heard it, bruv. I let it show. I don't know. My mom introduced me to Cobra Kai. My mom introduced me to Karate Kid when I was like 12, and you know, I watched the movies, and I used to love the movies. I still love the first and third one. Kind of lukewarm about the second one. And I saw a preview for this movie. Movie for the series, and I was a lot like you. I was like, nah, I'm cool. I'm good. And it was like a YouTube Red series at first before it was on Netflix. So I was just like, nah, whatever.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I went through a period where I had nothing to watch, or not nothing to watch, but I wasn't really being grabbed by anything. And I just, said, fuck it. I sat down and I watched it. And yeah, like 10 minutes into the first episode, I was already like, I think this might be something.
Yeah.
I mean, we might. I'm sold on the idea of wondering whatever happened to Johnny. There was a story there. We kind of for Daniel originally because we saw Daniel's side of things. We knew what was going on. I'm not saying that Johnny wasn't an asshole in the first movie. But
yeah, he was.
Yeah, he definitely
was.
Like I remember there used to be this theory going on that maybe Daniel was the bully, and I'm like, nah, that's not the case. Johnny's absolutely the bully in the original movie. But the show definitely does well to contextualize it. And I got to be very careful considering that you've only seen the first season, because I've seen all of it up until present. Season 5 in September. And I can't wait. But, season 1 does a lot to contextualize Johnny and some of the bullshit that he had to deal with. So you almost get it. And like 30 years later, you're like, even if you don't forgive him for what he did back then, it's like, yeah, he's a different person. Daniel's a different person. They're both trying to be on different paths in life, and circumstances bring them back together for whatever reason. And then Daniel just kind of turns into a nosy neighbor kind of guy. And, I'll keep it a buck with you. I detest Daniel's character. Since episode 1, I've not fucked with him. I still don't. He just gets under my skin in all the worst ways. Whatever the Karate Kid appeal was, whatever Daniel's lovable qualities were back then, he has outgrown them. I don't find him adorable anymore. I find him to be judgmental. I find him to be schmarmy. I find him to be, a hothead. I find him to be unfair. I find him to be hypocritical. I find him to be nothing redeemable anymore. And, Johnny's working with the little kid who's getting bullied himself. And, he sees a lot of an ability to maybe save that kid from going down the path that he thought he would go down. But he tries to teach him the same way he was taught. So he kind of inadvertently puts him on the same path. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And the show just, it there are layers to this show. You know, I don't want to give it all away, so I'll give
Yeah,
it. You're the one with the new, you know.
yeah, no, it is pretty dope, and I did see this as catching up with both Daniel San and with Johnny. It's not the Johnny show. You know what I'm saying? It's not the Johnny show. It's like it's both of them. Really, it's their rivalry. We're catching up on their rivalry, basically, like 30 years later.
Why do they
You
even
know what I'm
have
saying?
a rivalry? But keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what the whole show based off of. They're that whole rivalry that
These
culminated with the tournament back in the day. You
niggas in
know,
their 40s. Why we still got beef? Like,
come on. Now you know that like the kid you did not like well, I guess for you it would be like middle school or some shit. You know what I'm saying? What else you did like in middle school, and you see them today, and like all yeah, you still gonna feel the kind of way, even though you're like, man, look, we grown adults now. You know, that was back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But that shit's still gonna be like right beneath the surface. You know what I'm saying?
I don't care. It baffles me that people do. Honestly, like I think about people that I knew when I was in elementary, middle, high school, even the ones that did the worst things to me that have been done to me. I'm like, so you know what I mean? Like it's you went your way, I went my way. Now, if we had to spend time together, then maybe that would change. But my whole thing with that's kind of why I'm not fucking with Daniel in the show. It's like you don't have to interact. You make it your business to come fuck with me.
Yeah. Well,
That's not
that's the thing with it too. Like, well, I mean, my first impressions of it is just like, especially being the '80s baby, you know, and I remember the whole Karate Kid craze back in the day. And it's mostly like an adult, nostalgic generational trauma show with karate. Basically, it's kind of like it comes off as like that, and it is kind of like showcasing like a fine line between the bully and the bullyee, because like the roles have reversed now. So now the bullyee is now the bully. You know what I'm saying? And like now he's the one because the power dynamic has shifted, and so now
yeah.
he can like torture his old bully now. And it should come off as like cathartic, but really it's they don't. I love how they do that. They just show up for what it is. It's just he's just an asshole in the show. Like Daniel saying, it turned into a complete asshole. And Johnny too. He's still a piece of shit, but
No,
it's
he's
just
not.
that he's still a complete piece of shit in this. But it's just that his life has turned so horrible that you kind of feel for him, and we're in a part of his life where he's going through this kind of transformation too. But yeah, he's still like a miserable douchebag in the beginning. But I would go have a beer with him. Like Johnny's the dude. Like I would go have a beer with him. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because he's a regular guy. I don't really think I don't see him as I mean, he's definitely a douche, but he's a douche in the way that most adults are douches. Like when he like left to his devices with the kids, you can tell like legitimately he has good intentions and he's just doing what he does.
He
And outside,
matured. Yeah.
yeah, like he's not politically correct and he doesn't really care about the status quo and everything like that. But he's not a terror. You know what I mean? Like Danny was an actual terror. Johnny's just in his corner, just doing his thing. He don't mess with nobody. Daniel be going places, manipulating people, buying out land and stuff,
Yeah.
flashing money and shit. Like
Yeah, I know.
he legitimately be on some scheming shit. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, that's actually diabolical. That's piece of shit behavior, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy like to see that. I love they did that with him as a character, because he was so sympathetic in the movies back in the day. Now you see him and you're like, God, I don't like this dude. I'm saying? I do not like this dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
Johnny. So no, Johnny is a complete douchebag because he neglected his son for like 15, 16 years or something like that. Come to find out, and he reluctantly helped the new kid You know what I'm saying? Reluctantly, because he was letting him get his ass kicked until they hit the Thunderbird.
He's supposed to agree to take on another kid as a student just out of nowhere. Come on, that's he don't know
Um,
him.
well, I mean, there is that whole kind of like mind your business thing. But if you see that kids, you're like, hey, well, no, not. I mean, you could get shot out here nowadays. You know, mess around with these dumbass kids. But I mean, you can say, hey, yeah, come on, man, don't do that. Don't jump up on them like that. Just do 1-on-1 or something. You know what I'm saying? But nah, he just sitting around, let him get his ass kicked while he's sitting there eating his pizza, happy to let him die or get broke the fuck up or whatever. He don't care. He's as long as they keep him out of it. Yeah, Johnny's not a good person in this, but we're on the arc. We're on the character arc of him redeeming himself. You know what I'm saying? And so I like that because we see, and it's kind of for Daniel too in a way, because you see him because he starts out the first 2 or 3 episodes, complete douche. I'm like, oh my god, I can't stand Daniel. I barely liked him in the first one, and now I'm like, God Almighty, I can't stand this dude. And then he sees Johnny's. I don't know. I guess we could do what's season 1, so we could talk spoilery, right? No, if you
Yeah,
want to see it, you've seen it by now, basically. So yeah, but so when he starts training Johnny's son, even though he didn't know it was a son at first, we kind of see the old because he went back to the Mr. Miyagi like lessons like back in the day and all that, and I think that's when we kind of see him, kind of like stop most of the douchebaggery. Or was it? No, because then later on he went to the meeting, right, to like kill off the Cobra Kai. So yeah, okay, never mind. Shut up. I'll try to land that plane, but nah, he's still a douchebag. Um, but yeah, I like it. Oh, and Robert, you probably not gonna know who that dude is. Robert Lozier, the
I know
guy who
that.
plays. You will never know Robert Lozier. Come on, man.
I don't know his work like that, but I know who Robert Lozier is.
But yeah, it was fun. It was fun to see him come back in there and be the surly old guy like he always is. You know what I'm saying? That was fun. We kind of see a little bit of into why Johnny was the way he was. You know what I mean? And that's what I meant by like the generational trauma. Like you get an insight into why Johnny was a terror, like back in the 80s. And he kind of had a good reason too. Like Daniel just came out of nowhere, dropped out the damn sky. You yelling at talking to my girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, who is this nigga, man? You know what I mean? Like, yo.
Yeah, you want to get into the kids, like the point of the show? We ain't said nothing about them yet.
I don't like them kids. I don't like them
Come
damn
on,
kids.
man.
I don't, man. They were either stereotypical street kids or punk kids in the street, or they were too privileged, especially Daniel's son. Oh my god, like I would beat his ass with a belt every day. Like, get your ass in. Fuck you talking to like that.
Miguel wasn't privileged, the main kid.
That was interesting too, though. Like he was really likable in the beginning, like really likable, really identifiable. And then once Johnny got his claws on him, you see him morph into Cobra Kai 2.0. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, but I never I never thought that Miguel ever crossed any major lines. Like him and I think of the main children, Miguel and Aisha, the fat chick, the heavier chick,
I
you
like
know.
her actually. Yeah, I did. She was cool.
Yeah, they stayed pretty solid. Hawk, who happens to be my favorite character, by the way.
He would be. You, man. I've come to the things I pick up on you as the time goes by. Like, yeah, you devious as hell, yo. I know.
Hawk is not devious.
You are devious as hell, bro. I actually I kind of see you in him too. Like just
Oh,
being an asshole to be an asshole.
that's a lot. he got some confidence and he decided to show off a little bit. Come on now. Now he does admittedly, when he hits Robbie in the shoulder during the tournament, that's kind of screwed up.
I was about to say, you mean you didn't cross the line? He kicked the dude that's dislocated shoulder. Like what? You can't cross the line more if he shot him.
He's the one that I say crossed the line. Like I think Miguel came close, but I would say ultimately didn't. Aisha is pretty pure. Hawk is definitely the guy that walks the line where you have to go like left to your own devices. You would fall too far. Hawk would actually be the guy that falls too far.
But he's fun. He's fun though. He's like he's the dude you keep around because he's fun. You know what I'm saying? He'll keep you in the shit and like on your on your toes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's actually the coolest guy, and he has a name that's not his name. Like he's got a nickname.
Well, and I love like Johnny told him like true shit for anybody in high school. You know what I'm saying? Anybody in middle school or high school, and like you have like something that people keep going on you about. Johnny actually kind of gave you the game right there. Like, no, flip that shit around and like, you know, turn and like either grab attention somewhere else or like turn it to make it like work for you. No, I learned that way too late in like high school. You know what I'm saying? But no, that's actually good shit. Like,
yeah, which is why I have so much issue with people who come down on Johnny so hard because it's like the advice that he gives to the kids, he actually sets them like basically his main lesson to them is don't let the world turn you to a bunch of victims.
right. Yeah.
Take some charge of your life. You know what I mean? And people need to hear that. That's just
very
the way
true.
some people take it too far. Ergo, guys like Hawk. I'm not saying that's not it. I'm not saying you should go around dislocating people's shoulders, but guys like Miguel and Aisha who internalize those lessons and actually, you know, stay solid and reasonable. Yeah, you can't like the whole let's teach the world not to be bullies. You're never gonna do that. You're never gonna be able to pull that off. There's no level of re-education, indoctrination, anything that can erase that. I'm not saying you shouldn't try, but like to the degree where you're completely removing or villainizing the people who say, well, look, sometimes you need to just like ball your fists up, punch a nigga in his mouth. You know what I mean? That shouldn't be the first line of defense. I personally believe I don't think that should be your first line of defense, but you should know how to do it.
Well, it's been a minute since I've been in a school or in a high school setting or whatever, but back in my era, it was you either hit them in the mouth or you find a way to like click up with somebody or like find a way to turn it or flip it or like joke it. Because I've had to do both. I've had to hit somebody dead in the damn mouth when I was kind of sick of this. Because I used to get bullied and shit like back in like high school. Yeah, one day, what did he do to me? He like threw a paper. I was like walking by the class. I was like walking by to go to my seat. And he like threw a paper at my head. I don't know what it was. Something in my head just like clicked. And I was just like, man, fuck this. Mop that. Ain't heard a peep from the rest. He like disappeared like the rest of my time in school, actually. Like I ain't see him or heard from him a day since. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, but I don't know if that translates well to now times. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I am a piece of me is kind of Johnny. Like, you know, I'm an '80s baby, bro. Like when he was like riding around in that Thunderbird, I was like, yeah, hell yeah. Like, yeah, that's me. That's me all day. I still love Thunderbirds, bro.
Yeah, some of those things they're the kind of things you can't promote, but you just have to silently acknowledge as the reality of the situation. You know what I mean? Like you have those stories. You can tell your children behind the scenes. It's like you can't make a public service announcement. Hey, by the way, fight. Like you can't say that.
Like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but you have to just know, you know, like there are times where people get kind of turned off by hearing somebody say out loud what needs to be said out loud. So you just have to. I got in trouble recently. So I knew somebody who was getting bullied, and I gave one of those bits of advice that was like on a if you want to be 100% brutal about how people work and how their psychology works, this is a good method to use. But there are other people who were like, you can't say shit like that out loud. So it's like, oh yeah, you're right. And they got me in trouble. But it's like,
I mean, that's such a 2022 thing, though. Like, I, I don't know if we want to go down that rabbit hole in
Nah,
this review. You
we'll
know what
talk
I'm
about
saying?
Christian.
But yeah, but no, like what Johnny was teaching in the class is like it's good up to a level though, and I think that's what Johnny is learning in this series is that you're not you're not completely wrong, but no, you got to do it a certain way. Like you can go up the line to like the conquer, conquer, take shit from no one type of mentality or whatever. But no, it only works up to a certain level, because after that, then like you're like being malicious or just harping on people for no shit, or just beating people's asses, like just because you feel like it at that point. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, there's levels to
They
it.
attracting your old teachers.
So I can't wait to jump into season 2 because the old Sensei showed up at the end, and at a pretty pivotal moment where he's realizing, or he's trying, like when he started cleaning up his apartment or whatever, and he's trying to get closer with his son.
Yeah.
He's second guessing the whole like Cobra Kai thing, and then like here comes the old dude. So I can't. So I'm pretty sure everything's probably going to go to complete chaos for a bit in season 2.
Well, I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want to spoil anything for you. I will say that season 2 until season 4 came out was my favorite.
Okay, all right. So that must mean some like crazy shit happens in season 2. Then all right, yeah, okay. That's gonna be the next one then. So I bet. But yeah, man, I'm ready to give it a score. Season 1 Cobra Kai completely surprised me. Yeah, I didn't think I'd be that into it. It was fun catching up with Daniel and Johnny, and seeing how the roles kind of reverse a bit, like Daniel being the bully, being the asshole, and Johnny, while still kind of being an asshole, but he's at the mercy of like Daniel and all that. So I could give it a 4. I can give it a 4. I knew it. Yeah, you didn't even really have to say it. I knew you were. I do, because you've been telling me since for like months. Watch Cobra Kai, watch Cobra Kai. Like, yeah, I get to it. But no, it's actually pretty dope. It's actually, yeah, pretty cool to catch up with.
Yeah, I'm biased as hell.
All right, there we go. 9 out of 10. A.N.A approved. All right. Doctor Strange. All right, let's get into this one. Doctor Strange. It's the newest offering from the MCU. It is directed by one of my favorite directors all time, because I'm a horror movie guy.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sam Raimi, one of the masters, man. And it's starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen, and Rachel McAdams. And yeah, right off the bat, this is people want to say this is like a Disney horror movie, and in a lot of ways it is. And I don't know if it's just me. I'm an old jaded sicko when it comes to horror. So it was, even though there was like one time it actually did get me. One jump scare in there actually did kind of get me. But it was, I guess, for a Disney movie is pretty out there. But to me, it was kind of light. I don't know what you think.
It's a PG-13 rated movie for kids. That was heavy per that. Like, come on now. And you know me, I don't like horror movies, so it don't take much to freak me the fuck out.
Oh, was you scared? You were scared of this one, wasn't you?
I was scared, nigga. Relax.
You were scared. You was in there. You was in there. Oh,
Relax.
oh shit.
Still a Disney. Calm down. It did make me feel uneasy at times, so I won't like, but like on like a spiritual level, kind of like I was sitting there and I was like, I'm not gonna be that I'm not gonna be that Christian mom that has to make a Facebook post about like, well, here are the, and like I'm not that guy. I'm not on that tip. But even by my standards, I was sitting there and I was like, I don't know about all of this. I like the movie. It's just like sometimes I just get that nudge in my soul. You know what I mean? Whereas it's like you should be careful what you watch. I'm like, yeah, I understand. I hear you. I understand. I'm still gonna watch it, but I hear you. I get it. So it made me uneasy on that level. But like, did it scare me? No, these things don't scare me. It's a comic book movie. Relax.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But no, I was yeah, there was a little bit of the speaking of this, like my third eye was open a little bit to some of the imagery in it and what was going on. But I mean, it was that. I mean, it's kind of the world we live in, so it's not that crazy to me. But
No, not really.
I would say for me, this is like kind of upper tier MCU movie. This is kind of up there, man. Like the just and we can do this like in two separate ways. So we can do like a regular review, and then like after that we just do the spoilers and just talk about like all the like spoilery stuff and whatnot. But just to keep it like general, first off, you have to see Wanda. You kind of have to see WandaVision to not understand, but to get the full weight of like what's happening, like what's going on and whatnot. Because you might be a little lost, watching this without seeing WandaVision. I don't know what you think.
I completely agree, and I'll follow that up with saying I really miss the days where having like being up to date with the movies just required you seeing the other movies. You know what I mean? Like I I don't approve of this new approach they're taking where critical stuff is happening in their TV shows because that should be supplementary material. You know, I'm not saying that like a dedicated fan shouldn't get more out of having seen everything that they do. I'm definitely not saying that. Because if you are going to invest your time and energy into keeping up with them, then there should be something in there for the people who did watch WandaVision. But the plot shouldn't hit. The plot of a movie shouldn't hinge on the plot of a TV show that came on.
Yeah,
That's just odd to me, especially since Doctor Strange is a sequel. You know, this is Doctor
yeah,
Strange 2, but it doesn't function, and that's kind of one of my problems with the MCU in general. Their movies don't function well as sequels. You can't really watch, like, you can't watch Iron Man 2, then go into Iron Man 3 and be completely on board if you skip the
yeah,
Avengers.
yeah. That's
And
true.
you for damn sure can't watch Doctor Strange 2 right after Doctor Strange 1 with nothing else involved. They're like too much happened
Yeah,
between.
it's way too much happened in between those. Yeah, you be lost, like lost,
I don't
But
I don't think that's fair. You know what I mean? Like, again, if it was only contingent on keeping up with the movies, if you only had to see Infinity War and Endgame, and if you did that, you would still be up to date with Doctor Strange, then I'd be cool. But once I was watching the movie, now fortunately for me, I have seen the TV shows, but I was sitting there watching, I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that I had to see WandaVision, because what if I just skipped it? You know what I mean? Like the movie hinges on the TV show.
yeah, like you have. I don't. I think it's kind of cool that they're treating the TV shows with as much like care and like that they're doing the movies. So they are putting like critical story beats into the TV shows. So it's not. I mean, honestly, it's a corporate thing too. So no, if you want to see what happens with the Avengers, you got to watch these 6 TV shows and sign up to Disney Plus. You know what I'm saying? But and they know their audience too. Like they know we are ravenously like consuming everything they put out on the MCU. So whether it be the movies, the TV shows, like we're here for it and we're ready for it. And they're like 14 years into the MCU at this point. So it's becoming hella dense. It's almost like the comic books. Like you can't just pick up a comic book today and like know everything that's going on. If that's the first issue you had, it's like decades of backstory that you kind of have to know going into it. And now the movies, I mean, we've been at this for so long. The movies are kind of like that now. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's. I think it's going to come like the more time comes with this, the more it's going to be like that. So Get used to it, bro. It's gonna be is I don't think it's gonna change. So if anything, it's only gonna get worse. You know what I mean?
I think that's gonna tank them ultimately. I just don't. I don't think this is a good place to be, bro. I don't. I really don't. I'm like I remember in the trailer the way they framed it when Doctor Strange went to Wanda. She said, "What do you know about the multiverse?" And she was like, "Oh, well, I know a little bit here and there based on visits theories and whatnot." Which, based on WandaVision, yeah, she has a little bit of experience with it. So if it had been like Doctor Strange approached her and she's all right, how much do you know about it? And her explanation for knowing about it had to do with WandaVision. So if you hadn't seen the show, you would just know that Wanda learned it in the show, and now they can go off and do their adventure. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
But considering what the actual plot of the movie is, which I won't get into until we get to the spoiler aspect, and we'll just say that that's not the case. I'm like the plot of the movie, Wanda's motivation don't even make sense if you haven't.
yeah. If you because
You
you'd
know
be
what I
freaked
mean?
out. You because you would feel like you missed so much because like this like characters come up that you've never seen before. Like, wait, where did they come from? Like, when did that happen? And the whole thing. But you know what? Like moving on. Like as a whole, like I love the I love this movie. I love the visuals are still like top notch. You know what I mean? Like there were points in this movie where I was just I can't wait for this to come out on Blu-ray or the Disney Plus app so I can watch this again. This is gonna be one of those movies I watch like a couple times because like the visuals, especially like the interdimensional travel at one point where they were going through like all those different dimensions and stuff like that. That was incredible. Like the fights are like especially like there's a fight towards the end. Basically, all the fights towards the end, I was just sitting there like, "Oh, this is the greatest shit ever." And just see, as I had a Civil War moment on there where it's like, "God damn, I'm watching like my comic books on screen." You know what I mean? It's still pretty cool to see that, seeing characters come up and fights come up, and just seeing it play out in live action is really good. Um, yeah, it's and the I have issues with some of the story because there's a character in there I have no idea who she is. Like I, I, I get I first off, I've never been into Doctor Strange as much as I wanted to be. When I was a kid, I didn't have the money to buy like extra comic books. I had to, if my mom wasn't buying it, then oh well,
Mhm.
I missed out on that. And now I guess I got the time, or I got the money to like buy whatever, but I don't have the time to go through all that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but there are some characters I have no idea who they are or whatever. But yeah, I think it was pretty dope for me. I don't know what you think.
Besides what I just said, I when I first saw the movie, I actually like really liked it, but then I had time to sit with it, which I'm finding is why I made the comments that I said about Phase Four in general. I'm finding that a lot of the stuff that I watch in Phase Four, I like it upon first seeing it, but then when I sit with it, I like it a lot less. And my problem with Doctor Strange now is that a lot of the best parts of that movie feel like they're just there for the sake of saying that we did it. Like the multiversal travel really ultimately felt kind of just like, well, I think it would be cool if we just went through the multiverse. All right, cool, but like, and
I
a
mean,
very
it's the name of the movie, so yeah, I mean, they were going to do that at some point.
yeah, but I just thought it would be more like plot based instead of just like a commercial. And there's a particular group of characters that shows up maybe halfway through the movie, which I was excited for. And then ultimately they were kind of just like, all right, we gave it to you, moving on. And I'm just like, yo, stop doing that. And the MCU is moving at the speed of light at this point where you don't really get the chance to marinate with anything. And I was having trouble with a lot of the catharsis of the movie. Like when Doctor Strange meets up with Mordo, for example, it's been 2016 was 6 years ago. You know what I mean? And so, and when
Jeez.
Mordo and Strange parted ways at the end of the first movie, it was on some. I feel like you've desecrated the the sanctity of the institution I've dedicated my entire life to. So now we can't be allies anymore. So it's like, in essence, I've waited 6 years to see what became of their relationship, what this new rivalry was going to look like. But because of the multiversal thing, it's not even that Mordo that he's dealing with. Like, that Mordo is just, Doctor Strange implies that they have some kind of history. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't get to see that. I don't get to see the rivalry that they've had over the last. We just don't have time to deal with that.
No, no, that's the thing. That's something they're gonna keep in their back pocket, for the next installment.
That's a bad plan, brother. That's a bad plan. You can't, like, I can't care about this mortal's beef with the idea of Strange, because like, he doesn't have any beef with this guy. He has beef with a Strange somewhere. So when he sees another Strange, he's just like, well, by the transitive property. And I'm like, my nigga, no, like, the mortal he was friends with. So when they became enemies, it hits harder because it's like they were allies, and Doctor Strange did what he thought was necessary.
Well, because in the movie, Doctor Strange actually kind of hints, and we can explore that more like later on. He kind of hints that maybe it wasn't as friendly as it was put on. You know what I mean? Like, Mordo. I was laughing in the theaters because it's like, oh, so Mordo is just a universal hater. Like, no matter what universe he's on, he's just a hater. He's just like a Doctor Strange hater, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's one out there where they are like friends or buddies or whatever, but yeah, it's not.
But that's not even what they sold us on. You know what I mean? That's them trying to rework it to kind of fit their current vision. It's Mordo clearly in the first movie, and it's more compelling this way anyway. Mordo clearly had beef with the hypocrisy. It wasn't just hating on it. Like, he was like, I stand for something pure. You perverted that pure thing, and now I have an issue with you. And then in the second movie, they just go, well, really, he's just jealous. Don't do that. Don't be lazy like that. Don't insult me as an audience.
What if that's what's really going on with
That's
that? And
not what's really going on.
he's saying all this stuff just to justify,
Nah,
like what his true feelings is. You know what I'm saying?
this is just phase 4 bullshit. That's what it is. It's
What? Oh, you know what? Through all this, I forgot that we do have like a main phase 4 villain too, because we haven't seen him since Loki. Actually,
is he the main phase 4 villain, or did they just tell us that?
they had the whole big reveal, and yeah, they told us like, that Kang is coming. He's the big villain coming up, but where is he? Like, I haven't seen the dude since Loki. So it feels weird. It feels empty because at the end in the Thanos phase, he was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He was at the end of everything. It was like, yeah, oh, don't forget, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all gonna have to deal with me at some point. But Kang he's nowhere. I don't see him anywhere.
Because phase 4 is just about showing it off, like just being, hey, look at the comic spot that we're going into, look at the concept that we're digging into. And I guess I'm kind of low-key getting into the spoilers right now. It's like, it's the same, it's the Illuminati, you know what I mean? Like, hey, it's like, we're gonna bring in Captain Carter from the What If TV show just because people recognize that. We're gonna slice her in half exactly 2 minutes after we do that, but at least you got to say, we're gonna
okay, hold on. You get ahead. You're getting ahead. Damn it, chill. I'm just have to put a big redacted thing over your screen when we get to this part.
Haley Atwell is probably not coming back in a future Marvel movie. Haley Atwell will not return.
Shocker.
She's done.
I don't know who else out there is expecting more than just a cameo, but yeah, she likely not coming back.
The Illuminati should be more than a cameo. You know what? Never mind. You got it.
So, all right, I think all right, to wrap up this part, like I think it's one of my favorite MCU movies to date. And that's saying a lot because there's a lot of them. The horror elements were I'm the wrong one to ask about, like, no horror in this. It was a lot darker, a little grotesque than like your regular MCU Disney movies. But I enjoyed it. I loved it. And I given this a straight up 5.
Oh, you're waiting for me?
Yeah, waiting on you, man. Which and I knew it. I knew you were gonna come with it. I knew you were gonna come with it. A 3. Okay, all right. I'm not mad at it. It's not your thing. So
I'm more disappointed than anything. And I'm not even ironically disappointed because like there are people on Facebook who are mad because like fucking Ang Lee's Hulk didn't appear. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I wasn't even expecting shit like that.
The hell wants that.
they wanted the multiverse to really be like they wanted Ghost Rider to be in that bitch. They wanted Deadpool to show up. Like I didn't need all of that. And I'm not really upset about the multiversal elements in the sense that like I wasn't waiting for somebody to show up who didn't show up, and then I went, oh well, this movie is bad because it didn't. No, I think they took the concept, and I think that they sacrificed a lot of what they could do with it because it's just a byproduct of the speed in which they're handling things now. They're not taking the same level of care. They're really just more interested in the flashy now, more so than before.
Okay.
Where and I feel like this hasn't been going on long enough to be nostalgic for a time greater, but I do think the MCU's best years
Are behind it.
Yeah, and not even because you can't top that story, but because they just feel like that approach is outdated. But that really slow, meticulous approach is why that story is so phenomenal. And it's why nothing that you do now is going to be able to touch it because you won't slow down. You won't just take a minute, relax. Niggas is going to keep watching, whatever. You took the Illuminati, something people have been theorizing about since Nick Fury showed up in Tony's house, and you just said, fuck it. And I'm like, all right. I mean, the story was compelling. The villain was cool. The fights were great. It looked fantastic, like you said, but it just...
But my thing is, it's the multiverse. So yeah, that universe is Illuminati or whatever. Yeah, but there's different variants for like different universes and whatnot. So I think so I hear you, and it did kind of suck and we're gonna go right into spoilers right now. I nerded out hard when Mr. Fantastic came out on screen. I nerded out. I knew they were working on a Fantastic Four movie. I knew John Krasinski was playing Reed Richards, but still, just to see him on screen, bro, that was like, holy shit! Yeah, I can't wait for that. And Professor X, we've seen Charles before, but to see him in the wheelchair, and they had the X-Men music playing in the background, I couldn't help but nerd out. And that lasted for like 10 minutes because they killed all them niggas. All them niggas died horribly too. And it was that Quicksilver thing from the WandaVision, that kind of like middle finger to like the fans. Really,
it's not a good approach, brother.
I don't know
doing that.
Why do they like doing that though? I don't know why they like doing that, bro, but
because they think the whole just showing you is gonna be enough. You can get away with that gag a couple of times, but in the long run, you're sacrificing your longevity by doing that. And they just, because it's like niggas see the Illuminati and they go, holy shit, I never thought I'd see the Illuminati. And they right. I never thought I'd see the Illuminati. But then once I saw the Illuminati, I also didn't think that I would be holding an open or a closed casket funeral for him 2 minutes later. You know what I mean? Like, you went through the rigmarole of getting Patrick Stewart. Like, you didn't just get Charles Xavier. You got Patrick Stewart to reprise his role as Charles Xavier. For the fans, just to break his neck.
After he had a perfect send-off in Logan, too. He had a perfect goodbye. It was an honor. thank you for like all the years of support. Thank you. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? And then they just brought him back. And I'm thinking, okay, so they're gonna get the ball rolling on a bunch of stuff. They're gonna redo Inhumans. They're bringing back Fantastic Four. I think everybody kind of knew that, but they're gonna redo the X-Men and they're gonna like use this as like a starting point to kind of roll every. Nope, nah, them niggas dead. Nah, they gone. Sorry. And then there was a bit of that, but I kind of knew in the back of my head, I knew like, nah, they're gonna pull some bullshit because they were doing the Wanda. They got Wanda right in this though, because Wanda is terrifying in the comics, and she is part hero, mostly villain. She is her father's daughter, basically, like she should be, like she is in the comics, and like yeah, her unchecked, her like she can wreak havoc, like massive amounts of havoc, and be damn near unstoppable. And I love how they portrayed her in this, and yeah, and the kids, like yeah, if you haven't watched WandaVision, I don't know, like these kids popping up out the blue, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wait, okay, so where the hell these kids come from, and why was there no Vision? That my main gripe with this is like, well, where's Vision? Vision has no say in this or no thought in this at all. It's just all about the kids, you
Especially
know.
when they went out of their way to like bring him back at the end of WandaVision. Like they found a way to let low key resurrect Vision legitimately. And yeah,
Yeah. All right. So one of my favorite things in this was Shumagoroth. I finally saw Shumagoroth on the big screen. That was like that big octopus thing at the beginning that was chasing the girl. That was he was always been one of my favorite Marvel characters. Just because he's like a Lovecraftian character. And I'm a Lovecraft fan. I know with all the other like racist bullshit that he was into, but still he makes some good stories, man. What can I say? But yeah, I love seeing him. And yeah, so the chick with the powers though that could go between dimensions. Do you know who she is? I've never heard of her before.
Miss America. I know the broad strokes. Um, Certainly never like read any like major stories involving her, but she's basic. I mean, she more or less she's what they said she was in the movie. Except in the comics, she has more of a grasp on her powers. It's less random than in the movie, but
Okay.
um, I mean, like there's really not much to say about her. It's from like the broad the because they touched on most of the broad strokes. So there's not much to say about her beyond that because I don't know much about her beyond that. I'm sure there are like diehard Chavez fans out there who can tell you like every intimate detail in every comic book that she's ever been in. I'm not
Sure.
that nigga. So
Yeah.
I recognized her in the trailer. I saw the jacket she was wearing. I was like, oh yeah, I could call her by name. But the MCU is starting to get into the area where it's kind of leaving me behind. You know what I mean? Like I'm seeing characters pop up on screen. I'm barely keeping up with the names at this point. Like I recognize Star Fox at the end of Eternals, but I can't tell you anything about him besides that he's Thanos' brother. And with her, I was like, I know that's Miss America. I know what her powers are, and I know where she comes from, but I can't tell you anything beyond that. And then when Homegirl showed up in the post-credit scenes, I don't know who the fuck that is. So
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I know who that was. It's like
I
I
don't
was just
even
like,
have a
oh,
name.
I was just like, oh, cool, Charlize Theron. All right, nice. All right, okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
I got
yeah,
comic books hard because I don't want to be left behind.
I think we got to start. We got to start getting into comics and stuff, you know. But yeah, no, they left me behind at externals. Like that whole movie, I'm like, I don't know who the hell they are. I don't know what's happening, but okay, I'm here. What's going on?
Yeah, they took a lot of liberties with that movie. It was the Celestials that were the ones that I knew about. Like I knew about Arishem and all of them cats, and then they kind of just got colorful with the rest of it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know none of them. I was lost. I was just like, okay, I'm in a movie. All right, let's go.
I want a
Um,
Hydra Cat movie. I'm putting that out there.
right. And I don't know who that is either. But
When
yeah, I
Captain America
love.
became a Hydra agent.
No, I'm telling you what. Most of my Marvel comic knowledge is revolved around X-Men, Punisher, Daredevil, a little Spider-Man, and that's once you start getting into like the cosmic stuff. Yeah, I'm out. I know Ms. Marvel. I know Silver Surfer. I know the big hitters. Other than that, yeah, I have no idea who these people. I know Adam Quasar. Yeah, other than that, I don't know, man. Shit, I didn't read them, but man, that's Doctor Strange fight like towards the end, when they were like fighting with like musical notes or whatever. That was cool as shit, man. Like that was cool. I love that part. That was like that was one of those moments where it's like, damn, I'm actually watching like uh, a comic book on like come to life almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will say that that was pretty creative because like I was sitting in the theater at first when they started when he threw the first note. I looked over it at who I saw the movie with, and I was like, "This is the most corny shit I've ever seen in my life." But then, it turned cool. It it turned really cool.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. I was like, damn, okay, that was rad. But oh, what else was in there? Oh, Bruce Campbell. So for like all the horror movie fans, they when they saw Bruce Campbell come up at that like the little like really quick like bit part where they were in the Doctor Strange universe, or the universe where Doctor Strange had a monument to him and he was like the hot dog vendor or whatever. Like that was cool. And you know, if Sam Raimi's directing this whole thing, so of course he's gonna have Bruce Campbell in there,
Yes, sir.
you know, and they have a whole like Evil Dead moment in there where Bruce is giving great Ash performance from that series. I chuckled at that. I was like, that's cool. All right. Um yeah, what else was really cool here? Black. Speaking of the Illuminati, the whole Black Bolt thing in there,
Don't put me
like
through that, bro. Please don't put me through that.
that was that was fucked up though. Like I love how the the stuff that Wanda did was appropriately like gruesome and twisted. Like I love that they did that. They kind of didn't pull no punches with that, which was a little surprising, but I loved every bit of it.
I bet you did. I bet you did.
Yes, that is all me, bro, all me, and except for when Xavier died, like I was like, oh shit, man. But that was kind of like when she came out the fog, you know, just like snapped his neck, just like. But yeah, that actually kind of got me though. Like that honestly kind of got me. You know, I did jump a little bit at that, but yeah, I can't wait for the next one, man. This one was fun. I loved it. They got gruesome. We went through the multiverses. I can wait for the next one. I'm one of them fan. I'm probably the problem because like I'm like, yeah, give me more. I want more. Keep them coming.
I don't mind more. I just wish they would go like I'm looking at the Marvel lineup, which I've mostly stayed away from because I don't want to know what's coming. But like I'm not hearing anything on the horizon that I'm like super hyped for. Like even Black Panther's sequel, it's like I don't give a fuck. And the Marvels are getting a movie or something, and She-Hulk is apparently coming. Like there's all this stuff that's coming. I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care.
All right, so you're the percentage of fan that's kind of over it at this point. It peaked. Did it peak with you at Endgame or
I'm
the?
not. I don't want to say it that way. I'll say what I'm saying is so far it has peaked. I have hope for the future. It's just that like the trajectory they're on, the way they're doing things now, I don't like how they're doing it. And if they're gonna keep doing it that way, then it's like I don't think that I'm gonna like it as much because I just don't like this approach. But again, I'm not gatekeeping what came before. I'm not like it can never get better than Endgame or whatever the hell. But they had a winning formula before, and I don't even mean is to like the characters they crafted and everything like that. I mean like just their approach to how they expanded their universe. You can tell whatever stories you want to. I don't really give a fuck. And the more unconventional you get, honestly, I think that will service you. But like, um, you have to be just as meticulous with your world building as you were before if you want to keep that whatever. I shouldn't. There are 6 seasons and 6 seasons of television and 4 movies of the MCU that came out in the last year. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's breakneck. That's like when we were getting 2 a year, maybe. Yeah, that's breakneck. And I don't know, when it was smaller, when it was more contained, I think it was easier to just kind of like put releases out here and there. But I mean, we didn't expanded we've gone like universal and everything. So, and we're pulling in all these characters and all these teams. And so, yeah, we need like, I don't know. It's, to me, they're using the app and the movies, which actually, I don't know why they don't just release the movies on the app, like in case you can't make it out to a movie or something, but still, did they charge $30 or something at one point to watch a movie on the app?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck that. I'll probably go to the movies anyway to see it. But I don't know. I think they're holding the balance for now. I don't know how this phase is going to wrap up though. Like I'm just waiting to see, like what does Black Panther? How are they going to handle Black Panther though? Like I want to see how they're going to do that. First off, and then how is that going to go into the whole like phase 4 multiverse thing? So I don't know. I'm just waiting to see. I can't wait to see like what's going to happen with all this. So I don't know. I'm the percentage of fan that's like still excited and still liking what I'm seeing. So yeah, I can't wait, man. Give me more.
I think they're about to collapse under their own weight. Give it a few more years. I think this is the beginning of the end of the empire. I don't think they'll ever stop making content, but like I think going the way that they're going, they are going to destabilize and just completely fall apart.
It could be. I could definitely see it because when you go to a movie theater and you have to have seen like a decade's worth of movies before you can go and see this movie, it's a weird territory. I don't think we've ever been in like this kind of territory before. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yep. It's going on midnight. I think we can call it here. Know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, 8 out of 10.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man, sounds good to me. If you like what you see or you disagree, comment below. Let us know. And as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and look out for more A.n.A content coming to you soon. Catch you on the next one. I'm Alex Mack. My partner next to me is...
I'm Alex the Hoodless.
All right. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.